Welcome to the Chilling E Spilling podcast. Two college best friends stay chilling, spilling the tea on anything and everything from life experiences, relationship advice, pop entertainment news, and culture. Your new besties are waiting for you to join the conversation. Here are your hosts, Emily and Hector.
What's up, chismosas, and welcome back to Chillin' E Spillin'. I'm your co-host, Hector.
And I'm your co-host, Emily, and today we're going to get into it. We're going to get deep, I think.
Ooh.
Yes, because we're going to talk about fat shaming and just everything that comes with it, because it's so, it just tugs at me, because obviously I'm no soy skinny, little Miss Skinny.
Skinny legend.
Yeah, I'm not that. I am Miss Gordis.
Ooh.
You know,
And there's nothing wrong with it.
which is, I know, I'm getting to a point where I'm trying to embrace it, right? But still trying to work on myself. Anyways, but let's get right into it, okay? Porque this is an interesting topic, I think, at least on my end. I have obviously
on your
lot
end,
to talk.
just her end.
Sorry, at least a lot to talk about.
Okay.
But anyways, let's get into it. And let's get real. Have you ever been fat shamed?
Damn.
Mhm.
Not even a chase. You're just
Not
going
even a
straight
chaser,
into
we're
it.
just going in, like, you know how
Yeah.
you take a shot and sin limon ni sal, así nomás.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I don't even need that. Just saying. Just kidding. Okay. So honestly, yes and no.
Mhm.
I feel like so growing up, I was overweight for practically more than half my life. At least in my case, I tend to use humor to disguise it. Yeah, I'd always use it as a form of a joke. So instead of saying like, "Oh, he's fat," it's always, "Oh, he's funny." You know, he's a funny friend. I'd always just, if I attacked myself first about my weight, other people couldn't. And I think that's what my mentality was when I was little. But in terms of being fat shamed in public, I wouldn't say, yeah, I wasn't. Because if I gave a certain time area, I'd say middle school to high school, people knew not to fuck with me. People knew, like, okay, talk shit, get hit, you know?
Ooh.
Like, yeah, I was very, like, quick-witted, and people, I feel like a lot of people feared that because I'd always go after their insecurity, which isn't a good thing, and I don't condone it. But yeah, I feel like if I were to be fat shamed, it was mostly by my family. And I feel like that's a huge thing with the Latino and like Hispanic, just POC in general, what they go through. I feel like that form of insecurity stems from your family rather than the general public. And that's something that really needs to be addressed and is not really necessarily talked about. Yeah, I feel like people just they constantly point it out. It's like, obviously I know that, but why do they feel the need to keep on bringing it up, pointing specifics out? Because then that's when that child, especially when you're growing in middle school and you're going through that whole development process, that shit sticks with you and you'll never forget it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna keep it short. Yes and no. What about you?
I have
Ooh.
in both, like I like family
Mhm.
and online. Recent, like, well, I feel like with family, it's been like most of my life, and the way that they approach it has never been the way I've wanted to be approached. Of like, girl, this is how you gotta lose weight. Like, you know, I feel like it was just like poking at it, but it's like, yo, I learned all my bad eating habits, you know, from
Mhm.
you know how I grew up and just being with my dad all the time, which he was at work all the time, so all we had like near us was fast food places. And so there was no kitchen, there was no nothing to like cook food. Like, I most of my all of my life basically I would spend with him. So anything that he ate, I ate, and we were both, you know,
Yeah.
having really unhealthy lifestyles. And just the poking fun of it, like, obviously has made me insecure in my feeling pretty and sexy and beautiful, because I was like, if these people who tell me that, you know, they love me, there are my parents, and are telling me das gorditas, does this, then I'm like, well, that's how the world sees me, I guess. So why would anybody be como interested, you know? Because of these comments that, you know, families and stuff, I feel like for the most part don't do it intentionally, but at the same time they kind of do
Yeah,
type
it's like
thing.
a backhanded compliment at
Exactly,
times.
exactly. Yes. Because especially when they're like, well, según, because they like, into families, they're like very much like, they want you in a relationship, they want you, to have kids and family and stuff like that. But it's like, oh, girl, you're not gonna get a man if you look like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
they
So,
they told you that?
not in those precise
Oh, I was
words,
like,
but
what's the word? Like it was the underlying message.
yeah,
Gotcha.
like you gotta take care of yourself, you gotta, do this
Mm-hmm.
and that. Which I kind of in my head made up as their right,
Mm-hmm.
because the whole world doesn't even promote, you know, big girls, or have them be like on the face of big brands. I feel like that has been like a more
Lizzo and
recent,
Rihanna though.
huh?
Lizzo and Rihanna though.
Yes, that's why in
Yeah.
most recent times. But
Mm-hmm.
when I was little, no,
They didn't have that. Yeah.
no, it's like, oh, it's fucking Teresa on,
Mm-hmm.
on the shows, or pretty girls,
It was
skinny,
always the
and
comic, like the punching bag in a sense,
yes,
like
they
Fat
were
Albert.
always,
Yeah.
yes, the sidekicks, or
Mm-hmm.
the
Well, even
the
Fat Albert, he was the main, but because of the name, it's literally Fat Albert, and that
yeah.
was the joke in itself. Even though.
As I gotten older, and have struggled with that, and in the back of my head, like, always thought to myself, well, I'm not worthy
Mm-hmm.
because of my size. um yeah, I got fed up with that, and I was like, well, why am I not doing anything to kind of, you know, take care of that situation,
Yeah.
or versus having people tell me, like, let me just do it on my time when I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I have done that. And I feel even more motivated now, just because it's a journey for me, and it's a journey for me to be healthy
Mm-hmm.
and to live longer, and to be able to do some of the things that I've always wanted to do at full capacity without my weight being a hindrance. Like, I feel like at times, like, with weight, I can't keep up, because, just, you could be like, I'm feeling like a little bit tired, or, um, you just don't feel good about yourself.
Yeah, you shouldn't necessarily use it as motivation though. Like, yes, it is a form of motivation,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to realize that even if you were to lose the weight, if your family's saying that stuff about you being that size now, what do you think they're going to say about you later? Because
Mm-hmm.
then that's going to also fuck with your head and give you body dysmorphia. Because say
Mm-hmm.
if you lose all that weight, then they're going to, the thing with Hispanic families, they're always going to talk about your weight no matter what. So I feel like if your motivation is a constant cycle, that needs to be broken in order to fully, you know, to fully be, not only love yourself more, but be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, which is I don't want to say, like, that's the sole, like,
Mm-hmm.
purpose of why, but because of all these other influences that I've seen now, of how people are being appreciated and loved for just their body,
Mm-hmm.
has made me want to continue on that journey, but more so on the health side, because I've gotten um health scares, I guess you would say, kind of like, where I'm just worried, like, oh, can I make it this far? Because my family has a long background of cholesterol, like diabetes, and,
Oh,
like,
she said that with a
yeah, I know,
acento.
yeah, the santo. But, that's fearful for me, because it's like they all passed away early, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I
Yeah.
would like to live a long life, and that kind of, for me personally, put that into perspective, and I have become more appreciative to work on myself, for me only, for good health purposes, to be, even us, to gain some skills of being disciplined, and being like more, um what's it called, like, better for myself for the long run,
Mm-hmm.
versus for somebody else and how they see me, but rather how I want to see myself.
Yeah. You mentioned something about online. Would you say
Mhm.
that was the turning point?
Yes, yes, because okay, guys, you that are listening, we post a lot of stuff on social media. We post a lot of reels, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
content. We're on YouTube, and obviously, hearing that you're fat and you're just, like, girl, you gotta work on your weight. It's sad for me personally. I find it really sad that, like, instead of, you truly appreciating the content, that my fatness is what, you know
They took away.
took away. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, what are you doing? Like, you know?
That's weird. Like,
Yeah. You know what
like
I mean?
really
Like,
thinking about it.
yeah,
Uh
like,
huh.
so it's like, okay, which, you know, it hurts because then, like, I'm a human being like anybody else. So nobody wants to hear kind of like stating the obvious.
Hmm.
Some people don't like, I get it. You guys are quick witted. You can handle it differently. But for me personally, like, I'm just like, I'm trying to adjust, you know, to having more people have an opinion on me too. And that kind
Hmm.
of messes with my, you know,
Did this
it,
person have a picture in the profile?
no, they didn't.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Hmm.
so it's, that's why I'm like, I'm slowly starting to realize, like, why am I letting these, you know, these comments affect, because they don't know
Hmm.
me. They don't know my life. They don't know how I, you know, so it's like, why am I going to let you have an opinion? Not that we don't care. Like, you know, I see your fans, cool thing. Like, but, you know, we're sharing a part of ourselves. And sometimes, you know, it can get overwhelming, you know, when you hear stuff about, you know, yourself
Yeah.
and,
Sorry. Yeah.
and insecurity. So it's not like the best.
Hmm.
But for me personally, that was a turning point because I'm like, damn, I don't want to see myself, you know, like I'm already struggling with it. Like I don't need another person having an input, you know?
Yeah. Added on pressure.
Yes. So, that was a turning point for me where I'm just like, well, fuck them, you
Yeah.
know? Who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
And plus, we're in a society like literally people need to stop fat shaming people and stop like being on everybody else's fucking case. Like I know that you guys can get real brave like behind a
A
computer, a
screen.
phone, a screen, whatever the fuck,
Hmm.
but like would you tell like that's where like would you tell yourself this or like, you know, it's just so heartbreaking that people have to are like that and they just say whatever, you know,
Hmm.
comes
But
to
there has to
mind.
be some form of motivator to have them comment that, especially if it's multiple people and a common theme around the world.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, bitch, y'all are psychologists, y'all go to school. Find the reason why people are doing it and why it's such a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously it has to stem from something, whether it's not a relationship with their family, insecurities about their own weight and image, or it has to be something else. But it's like, especially in an age of technology, why the
Mm-hmm.
fuck hasn't anyone like really pinpointed? And it's always the profiles. Oh my gosh, it's always the profiles without a picture too.
Yeah.
It's like if you can't even put yourself out there to be judged, why the fuck are you judging other people? But obviously, people don't have that mental maturity yet.
Yeah.
And bitch, for it can be a fucking 8-year-old too. That's the thing. Like social media is so unserious and unreal, but at the same time, there's so many consequences that come with it that there's no, I don't want to say regulations, but there's no law or like, you know, like a smack on the hand.
Yeah.
So obviously it's just going to keep on happening
Yeah.
until something's really done.
Yeah. Which is sad because some
Hmm.
people that don't know how to deal with that kill themselves because, you know, like it
Hmm.
leads to depression where they feel unhappy about themselves that they're like, well, maybe the world's just a better, you know,
Hmm.
then those thoughts start to stir up in those people that don't know how to deal with it.
Expose them. Okay,
I
I know
don't
this is a
remember.
serious topic,
Yeah.
but when you said, ooh,
Mhm.
now we're going to get canceled. I shouldn't say that. Should
What?
I say it?
Just say it.
Okay, don't cancel me, but you probably are going to cancel me.
Okay.
But isn't it a law if you commit suicide and you write the reason of who did it or what caused it, they're the ones that go to jail? Not putting it out there to do it.
Mhm.
That's not my intent. But isn't that's what popped up in my mind? Isn't that a law?
I don't know actually, but I mean, would they know though? Because once they pass away, I feel like they don't go farther
No,
into
I mean
most of
there's
it.
some people.
Mm,
I feel like it depends on privilege.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, most definitely. But anyways, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that was for me. Like I'm turning my life. Obviously, no estoy there. I'm not,
Uh-huh.
but I'm working on it.
It's a
And I think
process.
it's a process, and it takes time. No es de noche por la mañana. Like I don't take Ozempic. I'm not like fucking. What's it called? Like I think Ozempic is used to like, you know.
I wanted that for
Yeah.
Christmas, not gonna
Oh my
lie.
god. Don't do it. No. Anyways, so yeah,
Hmm.
that's for me. I'm on my journey, but I don't.
Oh.
I want to get to you. Did you ever have a turning point
Oh
before?
shit.
Like,
I
yeah,
was like, that's the question.
yeah.
Turning point, not necessarily. It kind of just happened. I feel like my health did come into a huge part of it.
Mhm.
Um, Because when I lost weight, it was during the pandemic.
Mm.
And I know I wasn't mentally healthy at that point. But I don't want to say, like, oh, I was starving myself. Because at the same time, I was all like, like, let me start doing stuff. Let me start walking. Let me start obviously when you can walk, not during lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there wasn't really a turning point in the sense where it's all like where things really got to me about my weight. It was more of just like
An
health.
escape? Oh, health.
No, yeah, it was health. And then I feel like that's the second half. So after the pandemic, when I really started going to the gym and like doing cardio and everything.
But it's because like a doctor told you like for your health.
No.
Or you yourself.
I mean, my whole life I heard that, but it never really got to me about the doctors. I don't know. To me, doctors are scams.
Okay.
Not trying to be shady, but it's like
Okay.
I'm paying. Sorry, I'm paying this amount of money for a checkup to just be like, okay, you're good. See you in this month. It's like, bitch, like,
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
paying for this shit. Come on. There's not
Yeah.
really motivation, because even then, it's like compliments weren't really a thing
Mm-hmm.
until after I lost the weight.
Mm.
And that's where it's like, I see how you are, like I
Oh.
see how people are.
Mm.
You really see like there's a thing as skinny privilege in the world, and as much as people want to deny it, it's
Mhm.
obviously true.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like that didn't happen until after I lost the weight. I think
You found it as fun?
I did, but also that's my thinking time too, and I really cherish that.
Oh, okay.
Especially when I'm doing cardio. It's like, bitch, I may be listening to like cunty and like high like energy music, but at the same time I'm reflecting, and I feel like that's my form of therapy at the same time too, because I don't necessarily have someone to talk. Like, I don't want to say I don't have someone, but I feel like that's the most effective way in order for me to process my thought process and like all my thoughts and feelings of what I felt, whether it was recently or something I want to work on. And that's what really helped me establish, okay, this is what I want to work on, this is what I want to work on. And I feel like, I guess that's the drive, is
Mm-hmm.
just that helps me mentally and physically at the same time without it being like a chore.
So like prior to that, like
Mm-hmm.
it being your thinking time, what was your thinking time
um,
prior to you finding the gym and like that being your private like?
if I'm being honest, I didn't really have one. Because even when I feel like at that time, that's when I was going out and hanging with friends as a form of distraction. So I wasn't necessarily working on myself. Yeah, I feel like I wasn't also like emotionally mature at that age too to really distinguish.
Mm.
Like it happened during that time. Like I matured after that, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because even in high school, I was very immature.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I will. Well, that's good to know that our listeners can take away. It could be either way, like how one of us, there was a turning point for me, or there
It
isn't
just
one,
happens.
and it just happens. But
Or don't.
yeah.
All right. Gimnasio. You mentioned that you started working out and started this new era in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your experiences in the gym and what you've noticed so far.
Don't like a gym like that. I don't know why. It's just like
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like how you dread going to the gym, or like what's your feelings towards it?
it's a love and hate
Mm-hmm.
because in the moment I hate like why am I lifting up these weights or why am I like sweating so hard? Why am I breathing so hard? So for
Mm-hmm.
me, I feel like I get in my head like oh my god, all these other people are watching me do the workouts, and for me, I don't know what it is, but it's like I don't know. It just feels like such a task sometimes. I'm trying to like get into the mindset of don't see it as a task,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels like a task.
What part specifically would you say is the task? Getting there, a specific workout, or fitting in your time schedule?
Um, getting there and doing my workout. Like I don't know. I feel
Okay.
like that's both like because I don't know like how come it is that when I do dance, by the way, if you don't know, I do dance and I do heels.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that doesn't feel like a workout to me.
Yeah.
It just feels like fun.
Mm-hmm.
But when but I know that maybe that fun doesn't burn off a lot of calories as I should be versus when I do go to the gym and do the treadmill and stairs or whatever.
I feel like you just have to find something more tailored to you.
I think so too.
There's a lot of exercises that we don't necessarily categorize as exercise, but could really work out different groups of muscles and do cardio.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the gym is just so the mainstream, like this is what you could do to work out or lose weight
Yes.
or build muscle, that we forget that there's other things in the world that could help us. So maybe if you find a tailored routine, it could definitely change your perspective.
Yeah, I think so because it's honestly like getting on the treadmill, it's like I become observant. It's not until like if I get really like in the music, then I don't care about other people and then I just focus on me. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm always like looking around.
Really? Oh, you're one of those.
What do you mean, what are those?
There's different groups of people. There's different types of people on the treadmill.
Okay.
I feel like there's the chismosa and chismoso, the one who's always looking at other people.
Oh, I don't want to look at other people, but
like looking around,
looking at me. I feel like
I wouldn't say chismosa. Maybe the observer.
Mm-hmm.
They're constantly looking around.
Yeah, just to, like I don't know, make sure I'm like I don't know because I'm like if I'm observing people, other people observing me, like
No,
like how I'm walking and
like
how I'm like running.
I feel like it depends on what gym you go to, but I go to like a commercialized, whatever word that is, gym, but I feel like it's just a thought process because in reality, I can guarantee you no one really cares.
I know, but there's the sense I always get stares and I'm
but
like,
but you just started, right?
Huh?
You just started?
Yeah, I
feel like
January,
that's a lot of people have that thought process, but the more you go, the less you think about it.
I hope so. I'm trying
to
get over it. But honestly, I feel like I am invested in it even more. Like I have to go, like I dedicated a time just because I paid so much money for it. Gosh. So I have to, but I am trying to get into the mindset like Hector, like where you do it like to have your quiet time and to like almost think about things. And it's funny because I feel like am I the only weirdo? Like I like to talk when I'm like
on the treadmill.
Yeah, I don't do it purposely, but I like have the conversation in my head like back and forth. And then I like once I like agreed on it, I go yeah. And then it's like, but the whole conversation was in here, and then I just say that thing like verbally. Like, does that make sense? Like, you're having the conversation in your head, and then you're just agreeing. You're like, yeah. And you're like, oh, shit. Like, the whole conversation was in my head, and, like, if somebody's looking at me and I just said yeah, like, I feel like they'd be thrown, like, what the fuck is she talking about? Or, like, what did she say?
I mean, I haven't experienced that or heard anyone else do that.
I've done that, like, a couple of times.
But I feel like that's just the process of you getting into it.
Okay.
That could just be it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I have a question.
Yeah.
You read while you're on the treadmill, right?
I do sometimes, yes. I'm trying
How does that work? Like
on very low speed. Like literally.
No, yeah, but
0.5.
like is that your form of like distracting yourself from thinking about the treadmill?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because then I'm like, okay, I'm focused on these things, reading the words of these pages and understanding and digesting and processing what the words mean,
Mm-hmm. But at what point would you distinguish a distraction's hindering you or not? Like, obviously, any progress is progress, but do you think there's a way you could distract yourself while still going, like, full, like, throttle on the, obviously, like, not, like, full speed, but, like, like, that the whole effort into the treadmill? Not saying you're not, but, like, do you think there's another form of distraction? Or is that just your main go-to?
It could be music. Because of my heels class, I like to play the music that we danced to before.
Pop.
Yes, pop is one of the most frequent ones. And when I play, I'm thinking choreography in my head, and I do it in my head. The movements.
Ooh,
but then I'm like walking, and then like I like, and then the song's over, and then like, and then it moves on to a different song. But then that's where I like lose the.
What about making a playlist?
I think I have a playlist, but I'm like, maybe it's not working for me for what I, do, because I'm like, honestly, if it were me, I feel like I'd be on the treadmill, like, walking to the beat or like,
Oh, bitch, I do that already.
I want to do that, but I feel like people are like, but it's because with me, I like bounce with it. I like, I'm like, and I want to go like, while I'm walking and strutting and do my whole hand movements, but I feel like obviously people are looking, and I stop myself.
Bitch, if you could say, yeah, I'm pretty sure people wouldn't mind that over that.
No, because they'd be like,
you can make someone's day, though.
More stares because I literally on the treadmill. What I want to do if nobody was fucking around, like I'd just be like walking. I'd be listening to Shakira and I'd like be like moving and I'd be like doing I don't know voguing or whatever on the fucking treadmill. But I'm like that's a lot of movement and somebody who's next to me or somebody who's like behind is like what the fuck is that girl doing? And that's what I don't want. I feel like isn't there like gym etiquette, and I feel like that I get in my head about that. So see, that's
and there's
I'm
so
like,
many bitches that need to fucking follow it.
So see, I don't want to be one of those bitches that people get annoyed at. Like, bitch, like shut the fuck up, put your, like I'm like okay.
I can guarantee you, people are more pissed about people being on their phone, well, like occupying something and not using it, rather than all that. Though I feel like there's different tiers.
Okay, well maybe I don't know. Maybe you need to observe one day. And then you'd tell me for real. Like you'd be like, nah.
Bitch, I don't wear my glasses to the gym though. I'm not wearing my glasses right now though. But like how am I gonna observe? Like I can barely see. I'm just gonna be like
you just see a blob.
Literally like our background. That's how I'm looking at the gym.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, but what about you? Like do you have maybe recommendations like what have you done that has other than because you said pumping your music, you like, but are you dancing or are you just in your head like?
Oh no, bitch! I'm fucking stomping the treadmill like it's a runway. Yes,
really?
Turn the Woods. That's what I was saying. I'm fucking stomping to that song, whether it's just walking to a machine or something. And sometimes I catch myself. I'm like, this bitch.
But are you strutting? Like, are you like?
It's like a model. Like it's more in the attitude and the way you're walking. It's not necessarily like being grand, but having that power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I fucking hate using the guys' restroom so bad because there's so many guys that don't wash their hands.
Oh no!
So make sure y'all wipe y'all's fucking machines because these guys out here doing things in the bathroom and they're not cleaning. So what's that saying about? Ooh, I feel bad for y'all who are gonna date these people.
Okay. Now that you got me into this, like the one bad thing too, like you said about the guys not going to the, not washing their hands. Mine is for the girls is like, some of the ladies ya son mayores, and they're like,
like exposed.
Exposed. But it's like, girl, I'm like trying to take a cute pic in the,
and you see someone's nalgas in the back. Fucking it. Like, the old lady that runs in the back.
But they're so free about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, if I had not, like, not stopped myself, like, you could have come out.
Your Instagram would have been taken down.
Yes, for real. So I'm like, no, oh my God. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why. But it's like, I, like, see myself and maybe my mom, like, obviously, like, that's, but otra lady que I don't even know, like, no. I don't like that.
Maybe because girls have a more sense of a security knowing that they're with other girls, because obviously how society is now.
I guess, but
so
it's
maybe
still freaking weird to me. Like,
no, guys do that too.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's guys butt naked.
Oh
hell yeah, because there's a shower.
I know, there's a shower too for the girls, but it's
no, but even in the changing room, I walked in one time to use the restroom. I like to wash my hands when I'm done. I'm a very hygienic person. And I just walked in. I was turning down my music. So I was looking at my phone. And when I turned up, someone's wrinkly nalgas was right there. Not body shaming. But it's like, the last thing I want to look at is a fucking rock cover of drag queens. Only to look up to see that. So, that, yeah.
Yes, I get uncomfortable. I don't know why. It's just me, but I don't want to be seeing that. So yeah, that was my little spiel on that.
Yeah, there's not really. I don't think they're gonna put.
They're not gonna do anything. They don't give a fuck. Which live your best life. You do you, I guess, boo.
Also, if you go to the gym, make sure you. I know it's a place where like you're getting sweaty and everything, but if you musky walking in, please take care of it, because not only are you putting the workers to more work, but you putting everybody around you in such a bad attitude. It's
Yes.
just, yeah.
A PSA for everybody to
Yeah.
do, like, not smell musky,
Mm-hmm.
like, because that happened in dance recently, and she
Ooh.
was a very pretty girl and looked like she took care of herself.
Uh-huh.
But I got a whiff, and I was like, my nose hairs burned the fuck off.
Oh,
Like,
no.
it was bad, and I was like, girl, it is you.
Yeah.
Especially because I had a lot of arm movements, like up.
Oh,
And
she was letting it air out.
Yes.
Oh no, a whole fumigation at that point.
But anyways,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, we got off topic, but
No.
yeah, I don't go view the gym as a chore. I feel like when I first started, the only time I viewed it as a chore is when I went with a friend and they were like, "Bitch, come on, we gotta lift," because I was just doing cardio. Yeah, I'd say like the first third of when I started was just cardio, cardio, cardio. But my friends are like, "Nah, bitch, like, come on, like, let's lift and stuff." I was like, "I don't want to. There's people over there. Like, let me just do my thing right here. Listen to my music." But yeah, the treadmill, fucking my music. I don't give a fuck who's next to me. I'm blasting that shit. I'm sorry, like, if you're an elderly woman, or not just elderly in general, and you hear my fucking Kim Petras XXX telling me, like, sex me if you wanna, legs in the air, all that shit, mind your fucking business, bitch. Like, I'm listening to my music, I'm strutting, I'm doing what I want.
Okay,
but yeah, I feel like I had the same thought process as you. Like, I was very like, oh, like, what do people are, like, people, like, eyes are on you.
Yeah.
But the more you go, the more you lose that.
Yeah, I feel like, and I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I feel like, again, it's just like time. It just takes time.
Yeah.
It's an adjustment. And especially, that's what I was telling my trainer. I'm like, honestly, this is the longest I've been consistently coming in. So, it's starting to flow better. I'm starting to see the positives of why I work out, like, in small ways. But which brings me, because you have had a transformation yourself.
I have.
From being a nice a thicker person.
Yes, a
voluptuous person to now being a skinny legend.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. And you're slaying, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
But you were talking, maybe you hinted at it, like, there's such thing as skinny legend privileges.
There is.
Or, like, you're just getting, like, different vibes than when you did when you weren't skinny. So what were those vibes? I want to know, like, kind of what are those, what does that entail?
So as soon as I turned 18, I was a fucking, I'm not gonna say that. Pinchito travieso. Okay, so I was going to the clubs, I was going to drag shows, I was doing all that, going out, and it's just very, like, you're to yourself with your friend group and all that. But as soon as I lost the weight, more people would come up to me. More people would offer to buy me things. More people would compliment me. Like, obviously, I'd get this sounds so bad. Obviously, I'd get compliments back then, but they were more so like my personality and yeah, exactly. Whereas compared to now, it's like, it's more physical compliments.
Interesting. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the physical? Like, do they make you feel good? Do you feel some, like, bitch, you didn't before you didn't say anything and now you're saying like,
okay, so we had a conversation a while ago, so I'm just like, oh, these bitches fans. Okay. Like, I'm delusional. But sorry, ask the question again.
Because it's a change.
It really is. So
and how do you not let it get to your ego and, like, boost? Yeah, or does it?
No, that's the thing. I feel like I have an ego, but it's a delusional ego. Okay. Because when you grow up being a bigger person, and then you lose weight, and all of a sudden you're hit with these compliments, people offering to buy you things and treating you like a person, sadly, like, it's sad to say. Yeah. It's kind of like, oh, these bitches are fucking with me. Like, they don't mean it. And it's a very, like, I don't know the exact word.
They're punking you?
Yes. Like, it's not genuine.
Yeah.
Because you didn't really necessarily get that growing up. And I feel like it's so easy for a person who didn't experience that to let it get to their head compared to someone who grew up as a bigger size who, would experience that.
Interesting. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's an interesting what's it called? Side
Perspective.
perspective on what
Mm-hmm.
you experienced.
Also, body dysmorphia.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
Touch
I
on
feel
that.
like a lot of people who grew up, this also goes hand in hand with gender dysphoria for
Mhm.
people who are trans as well.
Mhm.
Um, I can't necessarily be an advocate, but based on like what my friends have said as well,
Mhm.
there is a role where like it goes hand in hand. So yeah, when you're not used to hearing it, you obviously get used to that image and you see yourself in a specific way. So however you were, I feel like whenever you were attacked the most and felt the most you were down, that's how you'll see yourself throughout your whole life. So like even though I lost weight, but I still see the things that I could improve upon. Where it's like, okay, like I still view myself as like a bigger person, but even though I'm constantly hearing people saying like, oh, you're so skinny, you need to eat more. Um
Interesting.
yeah, it's just that constant war of like people saying one thing, but in your
Mhm.
mind you still view yourself as that bigger person. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's always going to be with you. And I feel like that's what really plays hand in hand with the compliments. You see yourself when you're taking a shower, your
Yeah.
real side, you see
Yeah.
everything compared to what other people see. So by seeing that, I feel like that also plays a role and like is a psychological trick into saying like, oh, this isn't real.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Understood. Well, that was good insight.
Okay, but enough freaking going off topic.
Yes.
It's time for the tea in rant.
Period.
For this episode, Emily came up with this
Yeah.
mind blowing renovating idea.
Renovating idea.
Yes, all of the above. Like
Oh
Disney
my
is
god.
quaking. So in a
Yes.
sense, this portion is gonna be us talking to a younger version of ourselves, and we're gonna be telling them some things that we learned, or I'm gonna let you elaborate more on it because I feel like you have a better sense of what you really want to say.
Okay, so you have to say something nice to your younger self. What would you say that would encourage, you know, that would encourage and heal your younger self?
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
For this experiment, for this challenge. Um so for me personally, I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I would tell my younger self is continue being you, but like embrace it. Like go all out. Don't hold back because of what others say or how others see you because they're just hating. They don't know you. And once they get to know the real you and see you, they would be more drawn to your light than you think.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself should be like younger Emily, keep doing you. Don't let others dim your light because of what they feel is like trending or what they think is the ideal way that you should look or be or how to sound. Like, don't listen to that. Be you, your authentic self. Love what you love and share that. And if people don't like it, it's okay. Don't harp too much on it. And don't let the them not liking you be a hindrance to yourself and have you hide yourself because of that reason. So be you, have fun. Don't think too much about your weight. It doesn't matter. There are a whole bunch of fat people everywhere. you know, we're all big. Like, it doesn't matter. Embrace you, embrace your sexiness, even though you're little.
Ooh.
Like, be your sassy self because you're one way at home, then you're one way outside. So maybe if you could find like a good middle where you're comfortable and slowly establishing like how you are like truly in the inside and share it to the world, I think you'll draw the most light and um you know have the right people around you, if that makes sense. Because if you're always hiding yourself and pretending someone you're not, you're gonna lose yourself. And when I see the picture that I picked, I feel like I lost a lot of myself in moving the way how other people how other people influence me and how I should what I should wear or what I should like or what I should, when following that you lose yourself. And I think like seeing that picture of myself just tells me like protect that, fun loving self and having a whole bunch of friends and being silly and being funny. And even if people think you're dumb or ridículo, like estás haciendo ridículo, who cares? Who cares? Because that's what your personality is. That's what your light is. And when people see that, you're winning, and then maybe will be the new trend for other people to, be their, be themselves and don't be too much in your head. You're beautiful. I love you. Size doesn't matter. Be you. That's what I would say to my little self.
Oh, cute,
Yes.
cute.
What would you say, Hector?
Sorry, before we get into that,
Yes.
y'all saw that, right? She was showing off them nails like
Oh, I'm sorry. I know. This time I really wasn't.
I was like, okay,
Not you
get your
coming at me
money's
for my
worth.
nails. It's like Barbie threw up on my nails.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry. What
sorry,
would you
let
tell
me-
yourself?
So I'm debating between which pictures. Sorry, such a Leo.
Or you could do both.
There's 3 though.
A little small thing for each. It's a healing process.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to say like what I really want to say because like this little.
No,
this little person.
another thing you cannot
this little
down
person.
talk yourself. You gotta.
That's how I talk though. This person, they're not gonna fully like understand because they do this on Drag Race, and I'm like, this little bitch won't understand what you're saying.
My God.
Okay, but like hypothetically, if
yes.
if they had the same comprehension.
Yes, that you do now.
Okay.
Yes.
So first
Only
of all,
nice things. Only
Okay.
nice things.
There's so many things I want to say to this person, to you, specifically. But if I were to prioritize one thing, is that you're fucking perfect. And that may come off as arrogant to some people, but you're such a role model and like a huge example for people, not only for your family, but like people around you, that just being by yourself and constantly being you draw people towards you. You attract all these people towards you because they feel that they could be comfortable around you. And at times it may feel like it could be isolating because you don't have someone to like rely on, but you're going to understand that your gift of allowing people to be their authentic self gives purpose to multiple people's lives, and you just don't see that bigger picture yet.
Yes.
And just keep being you in the sense where you're just fucking amazing.
Hey.
In life, you're gonna constantly be breaking boundaries, rules, and expectations of people without being that big voice you think you need to be, in the sense where you allow your work to talk for itself. You allow your work to represent yourself. You allow your work to not only meet the bar, but exceed it and be the next standard for future generations to come. Also, don't be pissed at your parents for not allowing you to skip. Sorry, this is a little like arrogant, but don't allow like yourself to be pissed at yourself and your parents for allowing you to skip certain grade levels because the district thought that you could skip it. Because in reality, everything that happens for a reason. And because of that, you're going to meet 2 dorks in your life that are so crucial to your life, and that you're going to make so many amazing memories and core memories that it just happens for a reason. Don't ever feel ashamed for liking the things that you do, and especially like allowing that to be your identity in a sense where, like, for example, I was going to say bitch. You were such a dork. And I mean that in a great way. You were a geek, you're a nerd, and you've always loved Pokemon, and you always showed it on, like, you wore your heart on your sleeve. And by doing that, you're gonna just attract so many people. And I just want to let you know that, bitch, I fucking played that game recently again, and I used the team that we've always dreamed of. And I know that sounds so silly, but you would think I'm so cool now, and you're just gonna be such a light in so many people's lives, and I just hope you don't change.
Aw, that's so cute.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to say bitch a couple of times.
I feel like, it almost seems like you had that prepared in your back pocket.
I didn't.
Damn,
That's why it's like if I had it prepared.
Like, I'm so jealous. It just came out so like easy. But anyways, that's so cute.
Thank you. And I'm deleting that segment.
Thank you so much for listening to Chilling y Spillin'. And be sure to catch us on our next episode, which is going to be much fun. So keep a lookout, and also feel free to leave a like, subscribe, 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, and thank you so much for listening.
Peace.
Bye. You've been listening to the Chilling y Spilling podcast with your hosts, Emily and Hector. Follow the Chilling y Spilling podcast on Instagram, X, and TikTok at Chilling y Spilling. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for listening. Join the Chilling y Spilling podcast again next Monday at 5 p.m.